Okay, picture this. You walk into a health store, head for the supplements, and bam, it hits you. It's like this wall of bottles, hundreds of them, all promising energy, better sleep, stronger bones, sharper focus. It's a lot, really overwhelming. And that feeling that, where do I even start? Paralysis. That's exactly why we're doing this deep dive. We've gone through a stack of research, and our mission today is simple. Cut through all that noise. We want to pull out the key nuggets, the stuff you really need to know about what these pills and powders do, and importantly, how to use them wisely.
Right. And I think the absolute first thing, the most crucial starting point, is getting the definition straight. All the data, the clinical perspective, it's really clear on this. Supplements are not magic cures. They're support tools. Their main job, fundamentally, is to bridge the gaps in your diet. They supplement, they don't replace. That's key.
Bridge the gap. Okay. And those gaps can be pretty specific, right? Like based on where you live or your own biology. You hear about vitamin D all the time if you're somewhere cloudy or, stuck inside most days. That makes sense. You're missing the sun. But you also mentioned vitamin B12 earlier, specifically methylated B12 for vegetarians. Why that specific type? Does the form really matter that much?
That's a great point. It really gets into the nuances, doesn't it? Beyond just take B12. See, for a lot of people, and this can be due to genetics, like having an MTHFR variant, their bodies just, well, they struggle. They can't easily convert the standard forms of B12 or even folic acid into the active form the body actually uses. So if you take that standard B12, it might not do you much good. Your body just doesn't absorb or utilize it properly. Methylated B12 is basically pre-activated, ready to go. So yeah, for certain people or anyone with absorption issues, it's not just better, it's pretty much essential.
Okay, that makes sense. Pre-activated. Got it. So bridging gaps. Let's unpack that a bit more. We know filling basic deficiencies is one reason people reach for these. But it feels like it's often more than that, right? People are looking for an edge, maybe? What do the reports say about the main motivations?
Oh, definitely. It's absolutely about seeking more than just baseline health for many people. The research points to sort of three main drivers. First, there's performance enhancement. Pretty straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
Athletes using specific protein powders, amino acids, things to support really intense training.
Yeah.
Stuff that's hard to get enough of just from food when you're pushing your body that hard.
Right, like fuel for extreme exertion.
Exactly. Then the second bucket is condition management. Think about older adults, for instance. Many take calcium and vitamin D specifically to help maintain bone health as they age to combat that natural density loss. Or maybe using certain nutrients to help manage energy levels if they have a chronic condition.
And the third one you mentioned sometimes gets missed. Targeted life stages. Our needs change over time.
Precisely. The body's demands aren't static. Pregnancy is the classic example. Pregnant women need significantly more folic acid, more iron, crucial for the baby's development. And honestly, getting those levels purely from diet during that time, it's incredibly difficult, maybe even risky to try. Supplements provide that targeted, necessary boost, safely and conveniently.
It's interesting, though. This isn't exactly a new idea, is it? I mean, people have been using supplements for ages. You think about traditional medicine, ginseng, turmeric, garlic. Those are like the original rock stars used for centuries. Herbs, botanicals.
That's such a good point. It connects this ancient human practice, this necessity, with our modern reality. Because
Yeah.
let's face it, our lives are fast-paced now. Hectic schedules are the norm. A lot of people genuinely don't have the time, or maybe the resources, to cook perfectly balanced meals every single day. Convenience foods are everywhere. So supplements offer this practical way, a concentrated shortcut maybe, to get those essential nutrients even when the daily diet isn't quite hitting the mark.
But doesn't that feel a bit like patching a leak instead of fixing the pipe? Relying on convenience food and then taking pills to make up for it. Is there a tension there the sources talk about? Like, maybe we shouldn't rely on the quick fix.
That's a really important question. It gets right to the core of it. And yes, the sources absolutely agree. Supplements are not a substitute for a healthy diet. Never. But they also acknowledge the reality of modern life. For many people, it's less about a quick fix and more about a pragmatic compromise. It's about trying to function optimally in an environment that often isn't nutrient-rich. So supplements become a tool to meet people where they are, nutritionally speaking. Not ideal, maybe, but necessary for some.
Meeting people where they are. I like that framing. Okay, so that leads us straight to the big question. Do they actually work? Because this is where things get really interesting, right? The research seems all over the place. Some studies show amazing results, others, nothing. Why the inconsistency?
Yeah, it's definitely complex. It really boils down to variables. Two main things, generally. First, the quality of the supplement itself. Huge variations there. And second, as we touched on with the B12, the individual's unique body chemistry, genetics, gut health, existing nutrient levels. All these things mean a supplement that's fantastic for one person might do absolutely zero for someone else.
Okay, let's dig into that quality piece. Take omega-3s. Everyone talks about them for heart health, brain health. How does quality variation show up there? It can't just be pill versus fish, right?
Oh, it's much more detailed than that. When you really look at the omega-3 research, effectiveness depends on more than just the dose. First, bioavailability. Is the oil in the natural triglyceride form? That's what your body absorbs easily. Or is it the cheaper ethyl ester form? Many people just don't break that down well. If it's not bioavailable, the dose doesn't matter much.
So your body might not even be able to use it.
Exactly. And second is the ratio of EPA to DHA, eicosapentaenoic acid and docosahexaenoic acid. They're both important omega-3s, but they do slightly different things. The research suggests, for example, if you're targeting mood or inflammation, you might want a higher EPA ratio. For pure brain support, maybe more DHA. Quality supplements actually pay attention to these ratios. Generic ones, often not.
Wow, okay. That level of detail, it really highlights the safety issue, doesn't it? The sources were really clear. Just because the label says natural doesn't mean it's safe. That feels like a huge public misconception we need to tackle head on.
Absolutely critical. And probably the most vital thing for you, the listener, to grasp about supplements is the regulation side, or maybe the lack of it. See, unlike prescription drugs, which have to be proven safe and effective before they're sold, supplements, at least in the US and many other places, are regulated more like, well, like foods.
They're foods, not drugs, so the responsibility is flipped.
Correct. The manufacturer doesn't have to prove safety or effectiveness beforehand. They're supposed to ensure it's safe and labeled correctly, but that oversight often happens after problems arise. This regulatory gap is precisely why we see issues. Contamination with things like heavy metals, products not containing what the label says, poor quality control. It's a real problem.
Okay, that explains the risk from just bad products. But beyond that, what's the biggest danger people need to be aware of stemming from this lack of pre-market scrutiny?
It's the interactions. That's the major one. Supplements contain active compounds. They do things in your body. And because of that, they can interact, sometimes dangerously, with prescription medications you're taking. Or even with other supplements. Something seemingly harmless like St. John's wort. It can seriously interfere with birth control pills or antidepressants, making them less effective. This is why, and the research is unanimous on this, you absolutely must talk to your healthcare provider before starting anything new. Your doctor, pharmacist, a registered dietitian, think of them as your health coach. They can help you navigate this safely.
Your health coach. I like that. Okay, let's shift gears then. Let's provide that roadmap. Say you, our listener, you've heard the risks, you understand the science basics, but you're still facing that giant wall of bottles. How do you make a smart choice? Let's get practical. 3 key tips from the research. Tip number 1, and this directly addresses that regulatory issue we just talked about. Look for third-party testing. This isn't just a nice to have, it's pretty much essential. It means an independent group has actually checked the product, verified that what's on the label is actually in the bottle, and that it doesn't contain harmful contaminants.
Yeah, and be specific. Look for seals from reputable organizations. You'll see names like NSF International or USP, the U.S. Pharmacopoeia. These groups test for identity, strength, purity. They check for heavy metals, pesticides, other junk you don't want. Without that seal, you're basically just taking the company's word for it.
Okay, seal check. Got it. Tip number 2.
Read the labels carefully. And this means more than just scanning the ingredients. Check the suggested dose. Does it align with scientific research, or does it seem excessively high? Sometimes more isn't better, it's just more. Optimal doses are often lower than what's pushed. Also, check for any warnings or contraindications listed.
Right, don't just pop the pill, read the fine print. And tip number 3.
Research the brand itself. Look into their reputation. Not all companies are created equal. Some have a long history of quality control and transparency. They might share their testing results, talk about where they source ingredients. Others might spend more on flashy marketing than on actual quality. Look for substance over style.
Okay, solid advice. Let's quickly tackle a couple of common questions that came up in the sources. First, price. Does spending more guarantee better quality?
Not necessarily. A higher price can reflect fancy packaging, marketing budgets, maybe a celebrity endorsement. It doesn't always mean the nutrient inside is better or more bioavailable. Focus on that third-party testing and the specific forms of nutrients, not just the price tag.
Good to know. And second, do you need to take supplements every day to get a benefit?
Again, it really depends. It's totally individual. Depends on your diet, your specific needs. If your diet is generally good, but you have occasional off days, maybe occasional supplementation is fine. But if blood tests show you have a genuine deficiency, like low iron or vitamin D, then yes, you'll likely need consistent daily use, at least for a while, to correct it. Always guided by your healthcare provider, of course.
That actually leads perfectly into this personal story from the research. It was really relatable. Someone described feeling constantly tired, hitting that wall mid-afternoon every day, just sluggish. They finally got blood tests.
Yeah.
Turned out moderate iron deficiency. So they started an iron supplement, and it made a huge difference. Energy came back, focus improved.
But here's the crucial part of that story.
Right. The supplement alone wasn't the whole fix. The lasting improvement only happened when they also made dietary changes, purposefully adding more iron-rich foods like leafy greens, beans, into their regular meals. The supplement was the support tool, like you said earlier, but the diet provided the foundation. It was a team effort.
That's it, exactly. That story just perfectly sums up the core message, the philosophy here. Supplements should complement. They support. They don't replace a healthy diet and lifestyle. If we zoom out, the bigger picture goal is always optimal health, optimal functioning. And that primarily comes from whole, nutrient-dense foods. It has to be a holistic approach.
So boiling it all down, what's the main takeaway for you listening right now? It seems to be about balance, about being informed, maybe a little skeptical, listening to your body, and ideally getting actual data through tests, and then approaching that supplement aisle not with fear, but with informed confidence. Know that these are powerful tools. Treat them that way.
Well said. And maybe here, one final thought to chew on, something provocative from the sources for you to consider. We know the research clearly shows supplements are beneficial, sometimes essential, for people with diagnosed deficiencies or very specific dietary restrictions. Okay. But think about modern life for most people. The widespread reliance on processed convenience foods, the high stress levels, the just general craziness of schedules. Given that reality, should we maybe reconsider the standard advice? The idea of the balanced diet should provide everything. Is that even realistic for the majority today? Could it be that for certain common nutrients, regular supplementation isn't just a fix anymore, but maybe it's becoming more of a modern necessity? Something to think about.